eyes on me, we're gonna let the beast out. Caged up, held down for far too long. You ready? Be ready. Breathe in, smell the victory. Breathe out, let go of all the doubt you feel. Believe, reject defeat. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. When it's on the line, seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Stand the test of time. Seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, believe you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Hold up, are you listening? Focus in, we're looking to make history. Let's go, we know.
Let's go. It's Tuesday night. As the song says, never, ever be afraid to be a legend. So it's Cole Moore. Listen, Cole, before you start making fun of the host, you got to let me do my monologue first, dude. Come on. You know the rules by now. No, that kidding aside. It's Tuesday night. It's legendary night. I'm going to start calling this Legends Night, right? Because of all the shows that you guys have access to, you keep coming back for more for this show because you know that this is probably the most fun that you're going to have all week talking about high school football in general, sports in general, and just hanging out with a bunch of good old rednecks like us talking about the game that we love. I got Cole Moore's attention that time. So anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's you know what it is? It's the off season. That means that everyone's out of school. And by the way, everyone's out of school. That means there are going to be a lot of kids on the road. There's going to be some partying going on. And I want you guys to have a great time. But guys, this is the time of the year that we also always hear about tragedies because kids are on the road. They're not wearing their seatbelt. They're driving too fast. They're drinking and driving. All the things that we used to do as teenagers, right? So that's why this time of the year, what is that buzzing? Oh my gosh, what is that? So anyway, I don't know what that was, man. So yeah, somebody let some critters in the door or something. But this is the time of the year that we always hear about tragedies that happen on the road when kids aren't in school. So guys, slow it down, put your seatbelt on so we can make sure we can see your smiley face on the football field come this fall. Okay. So that's my PSA pitch for the day. Hey, before we welcome our super fans on the screen, I need to go ahead and thank our sponsors. So let me go ahead and do that, guys. First of all, I want to thank Commercial Banking Company. This is an awesome bank, not because they handle money, but you know that they do that great. They do that very, very well. Not because they're a local company or a South Georgia company. In the world of these mega banks, like Bank of America, this mega bank, that mega bank, these folks are located in our hometowns. So support your local banks. And what makes them so special are the people that work there because we know them. We grew up with them. We see them every day. We go to church with them, all this stuff. So support the folks that support us. So Commercial Banking Company, if you have the need for a mortgage loan, business loan, auto loan, now's the time to do it before the rates get any higher, guys. They're not going to be going down for the foreseeable future. So call the fine folks at Commercial Banking Company for your loans and any type of financial services needs. Okay. We also want to thank Freedom with Steve Nichols. I was just talking to Steve earlier today, and his show is doing great. It's growing like crazy. And you know why? Because he talks about this very thing, freedom. That's why he calls the show Freedom with Steve Nichols. And it's not I got him, Cole. That little flying critter, he's not going to bother us the rest of the show. So what other sports show are you going to be watching that talks about flying critters going across? Did y'all see that? That was kind of weird. But anyway, we want to thank Steve Nichols, Freedom with Steve Nichols. I was listening to him earlier today, and he was talking about the U.S. Constitution. He does a great job of talking about freedom, celebrating it, defending it, promoting it, without doing it in a boring way. You guys ever watch C-SPAN or some of these other news shows, they're so boring, but Steve keeps it entertaining, very lively, and very informative. So catch him every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Freedom with Steve Nichols. We also want to thank Matthew Godwin at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road for your iPhone, Androids, accessories, and small business accounts. You have the need for that, give Matthew a call at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. We want to thank Kyle Conger with White Oak Investment. The stock market's been doing okay lately, but overall for the year, it's down. So the waters are very choppy. It's going to continue to be choppy for the foreseeable future. So if you want to have a steady hand guiding the ship through these rough waters, give Kyle a call at White Oak Investment, 229-850-8848. You won't be sorry. We also want to thank these guys in the time of turbulent financial market. You might suffer from migraines. These guys can help you out. They are the certified headache medicine specialists. I need to get these guys on the screen with us because they're also huge football fans. Cole Moore, you'll be happy to know that both of these guys are huge Florida Gator fans. Now, I should not have let that cat out of the bag because all these Georgia fans that suffer from migraines, I'm not sure how they feel about that. But that set aside, these guys know what they're doing in the field of treating your migraines and your headaches. So give these guys a call. The Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. We want to thank Tim Neesmith, Shade of Perfection. He's given me a huge box of T-shirts to give away. So guys, help me remember. We're going to start bringing back our drawing. We're going to start that. We're going to have our first drawing, I think, of the year tonight on air at the end of the show. So we still got to think that through a little bit because many of you are out of town, out of the Valdosta, Lowndes County area. So we're trying to figure out how we get you the drawing when you win that prize. So I'm not sure how we're going to do that yet. So anyway, we want to thank Tim Neesmith, A Shade of Perfection. If you have the need for custom shades and blinds, give Timmy a call. And let me go ahead and bring this guy on the screen. George Braddock.
Yes, sir.
You were sharing something earlier with me. Why don't you show our folks? Yeah, your family tried this drink for the first time over the weekend. You bought a case. How many cans you have left?
Oh, well, 2, because my daughter thought enough of me to hide 2 of them. So I have a couple, allegedly, in case they hear me talking.
You said that your family loves this drink, right?
Yeah, they smashed it.
Yeah.
And let me
absolutely awesome drink. So we want to thank Pepsi Bottling Company for producing that.
Yep.
So that's what that is. Guys, they have some awesome other flavors. Obviously, Pepsi, Mountain Dew. They also produce or distribute Rockstar energy drink, Mountain Dew Energy, and of course, the Mountain Dew Spark that you just saw. So we want to thank these sponsors, all of them. They are so special. We got some others on the way that we want to thank. Speaking of the guys that we want to thank, let me get some of our super fans on the screen. Of course, you guys know, I call him Rocking Chair George. You guys know George by now, right? Let's bring on Florida Gator Cole. How you doing, Cole?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, buddy. I'm doing all right.
So let me also bring in Chase Garnto, the other Lowndes fan. How are you, Chase?
Well, I think me and Cole are really going to clash tonight.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's what makes it fun.
Cole rolled in not only wearing what I can't see that hat, but he wore the Florida Gator stuff. Oh my Lord. We're gonna have to pray for this man something serious.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Hey, are you a dog or what? What's your
No, I'm a Florida State fan.
He's a who?
Y'all relevant anyway nowadays.
Hey, listen. Florida, I can live with Florida State. One of the cool things about Florida State is their defensive coordinator came to the Lowndes game, the Lowndes spring game. I'm not even going to call it the Lowndes Tift County game. It was the Lowndes spring game the other night. Had a chance to meet him on the sideline. Super nice guys there scouting some players. And man, oh man, guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a name. Cole, I'm going to give you a name to watch out for. He's hit the radar, everybody's radar, and that's Kivas Thomas. He is going to be a superstar by the time he graduates from Lowndes High.
Sure, I agree.
So,
yeah.
I mean, all you got to do.
Chase, George, should you and I just exit the screen and just let these two go out?
I mean, make it like an octagonal.
I have nothing to say to an FS Poo fan.
All right.
I have nothing to say other than we own them.
Okay, listen, this is not a college football show. Y'all can do that on your own time because I only have 1 hour with these folks that are watching tonight. They tuned in to listen to the funnest discussion of high school football, even in the off season. I got a couple of questions that I'm going to throw out to our panel tonight. I think it's going to be fun to talk about as fans. And this is, guys, I'm going to warn you, this is just fan conjecture tonight. Right. But I think they're relevant questions, just some trends that I've noticed over the years. And so I'm going to throw it out there and see what you guys think. But I got to ask you guys, I'm a little ticked off tonight. I'm kind of in a bad mood. Do you know why?
No.
So I got home after a long, hard day. I'm going to
put
one
of you. Did you have to go to Tallahassee?
Yeah, I did go to Tallahassee. I'm going to put one of you. I'm going to mute.
There you go. I know why you had a bad day.
Hey, I'm getting some feedback on the line, so mute your line and see if it's yours. So anyway, so one thing that I noticed, guys, that I got home after a long, hard day of work and opened up the mailbox, and what was waiting for me? A letter to join AARP. I couldn't believe it. I'm 51 stinking years old, and I get a letter to join ARL. It puts me in a bad mood automatically. I don't know why. It just did. So anyway, so I'm going to take it out on Cole tonight. How about that, Cole?
Don't get mad at me because you're old.
Oh, my gosh. Did you just say that? All right, speaking of...
Think about it, though. The last time Florida won a national championship, you were like, what, 22 or something?
No. No, but I didn't have to wait 40 years.
I did.
All that discussion about Georgia and 41 years, that's over with now.
Yeah.
That's over with now.
It be 41 more years before you win.
It very well could be, but I still celebrate it like it was yesterday. Like Lowndes, the last time we won a state championship was 2007, right? I still celebrate that because I realize winning a state championship, any kind of championship, is super hard in itself. Yeah. So I think fans should just celebrate the ones they have and don't worry about the ones they missed out on or whatever. We're always going to get poo-pooed by our competition or our opponents, that kind of stuff. But as a fan of Lowndes High School, I still celebrate the win that we had in 2000. I remember sitting in that stadium. It was a rainy night against North Gwinnett. It was the last time that we played on natural grass in Martin Stadium. Wake up, Colmore.
You're bored in here with the.
So anyway, listen, I got asked a couple of weeks ago. No, more than that, about a month ago, when Zach Grage and Sean Calhoun and Shelton Felton were now solidly planted as head coaches within Region 1 7A, right? Everybody starts talking about Colquitt is the training ground for head coaches in our region, right? But guys, I want to bring something up. Right? This is a little nugget that I found in just my little research. I'm going to make the argument that Berrien County is the training ground for head coaches, right?
Oh, God.
So here we go. So Colquitt fans are going to love this. So this is the new head coach over in Colquitt County, Sean Calhoun. Fine fella, great coach. I'm just pointing this out, kind of pointing out a Berrien County Rebel connection here. Check this out.
Uh-oh, no volume. Do you have volume on your end, Larry?
No volume.
You didn't have any volume?
No, it's no volume on our end.
All right, let me try that again because it's worth it.
Oh boy, look, a little man action right there.
Yeah, it's worth
He
it.
pulled it from the vent.
What's that?
He pulled it from the vent.
No, I didn't pull that from. Oh, that's the other screen. So I was starting talking about one of the region rankings. Sometimes those guys have some pretty good ideas over there. So let me pull this up. Y'all bear with me. Because I promise you, Cole, this is going to be worth it, all right?
It's the rush region. Let's just get it over with. Region 178 is the rush region.
Oh, so we're going to call SEC the Saban region.
All right. Well, I can't, for some reason, I can't pull it up.
Come close.
This software is not coordinating with me or cooperating with me. But basically what he was saying was Sean Calhoun got his start after coaching at Valdosta State University. His first high school coaching gig was in Berrien County as an assistant. So all you guys that say that Colquitt this, Colquitt that is a training ground, this is video proof that that Berrien County is the training ground for future head coaches. How about that? That's my pitch for Berrien County.
That's I'm gonna leave that alone.
Come on, man. Y'all got to give me something as a rebel. Y'all got to give me something, right?
I like it, Larry.
There you
Didn't y'all
go,
be
Chase.
good
He's
last
not the
year?
only one,
That's all
though.
I'm giving you.
He's not the only one with the Berrien roots. We've stumbled over several of them.
Yeah, Ed Pilcher, famous TCC head coach. Ed Pilcher also went on to coach very well over at Bainbridge High School, right?
Yeah.
And here's another connection. Although he didn't do as well over in Colquitt County, but my head coach when I was in high school was Bill McCall, who later became Colquitt County head coach and didn't do very well over in Colquitt County.
No, he didn't. He got smashed.
He did. That's big boy football. Back then it was Valdosta dominating. Lowndes was coming on the scene. Colquitt was having a pretty good run. And that was just a very, very, it wasn't a very good fit. It wasn't a good fit for Bill at all.
What? Tipp County never lost to Coach McCall while he was the head coach at Colquitt County.
But that's okay because you've lost to plenty of other coaches.
We didn't get beat by Lowndes.
Listen, man, bringing on cute Stella on the screen. That's awesome. All right, so here's what I have for you guys tonight. I'm going to ask you a question. The first question is around this topic of spring games. Okay, I've noticed that a number of teams have stopped playing spring games. Now, partly it's because of probably GHSA rules, which are, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. GHSA rules say that if you forego a spring game, you can have 2 fall scrimmage games. But if you play a spring game, then you get 1 fall scrimmage game, which I don't really understand that rationale. You should be able to play 2 fall scrimmages if you want to, regardless of what you do in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
But so what do you guys think about spring games? Are they still useful tools for local teams, or are they just played for fans like us? George, what do you think? Because Ware County did not play a spring game this year, right?
Not last year either. We did an intra squad.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I hate to answer with an equivocate, but I think it's both. I think the fans, it's a little something for us.
Yeah.
It probably could bring some revenue in for the program. Other than that, I don't really know the value of them. I guess it's so early on, and it depends on your program and who you've graduated and who, what year your coach is at and things like that. Where, like, for example, I think it's a great thing for TCC this year because I think anybody watching them can say, wow, they're ahead of schedule.
Right.
They look really good. They look really sharp. And I think that'll help them momentum-wise. Conversely, you take a team like Tift and going in, and they had some reason to be excited the second year of Noel Dean, things like that, and they just looked horrific for whatever reason, and we could unpack it. Maybe Cole could. So it would seem to have the opposite effect with them because now they're having meetings. They're maybe hitting the panic button. I don't know what they're doing, but it certainly wasn't a good thing for them. So, but was it a reality check for them? Maybe, but I could see both ways. You see on that.
You know,
Well,
Cole, I think Noel Dean is getting an unfair shake in Tifton because one thing that I said to you privately after the Lowndes spring game was, you know, it's the beginning of Noel Dean's second year at the helm. And traditionally, we've always said, hey, 3 years is usually a good benchmark for a new head coach into a system, especially one that's got a radically new offensive scheme that that particular school hasn't ever run before. So is it unfair for fans to jump on Noel Dean and start talking about, hey, did we make the wrong hire? I think it's unfair to put that on a man entering in his second season.
50-50. I mean, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
This is from a fan base and from the support that they still have is from a fan base that remembers the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, where Tift County may have not been the best, but you sure knew they were there. I agree, but then I disagree.
Okay.
I think there's no reason for you to look that bad. The fumbles and just fundamental.
Well, that'll be cleaned up, won't it? Yeah, fumbling is fumbling. That can get cleaned up.
Fundamental things. Still getting ready for a ball game, but I will not say it's a bad thing. Okay, so you got your tail stomped. Okay, now we pick the pieces up. All right, now we move forward. Okay, we didn't look good. Now we know what we have to work on. I love the spring game. It lets you know what you have going into fall, what you need to work on.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Noel Dean's concerned, look, everybody knows that Tift County, it's done when it's out. Tift County's fan base and their big supporters are very unhappy. But again, I had to tell myself as a competitor, it's just a spring game.
Yeah.
Okay. When I'm not comparing Tift County to Warner Robins of last year, but I remember LG, me and you had this conversation right after spring game, and you flat out told me, hey, Warner Robins looks bad.
Yeah.
They end up
they won a state championship, right?
They won a state title.
Yeah.
Not only a state title, but one of the most prolific offenses we may have ever seen in high school football in the state of Georgia. So I'm not saying Tift County's not winning the state championship. That is not the example I'm trying to give. But before we jump on the Fire Noel Dean bandwagon and let's make a website and all this 9 yards, let's calm down and let's see what happens. You know, he wasn't. It is bad. Tifton did lose a lot last year on the defensive side of the ball. Okay, they're very young. Had some unfortunate injuries happen. Now, that's why I like the spring ball. I like so now unfortunate injury happened at the quarterback position. Now we know we have to find somebody to fill that spot. So I like the spring game. It lets Tift County know where you're at. Lowndes, see, the spring game may have benefited Tifton more than it did Lowndes. And I will give me a moment to explain. Lowndes is that much better than Tifton. Tifton knows that they have to get better. Did that scrimmage didn't necessarily help Lowndes? You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, let me touch on that point. I'll ask Chase a follow-up question to that. Chase, we're talking about the usefulness of spring practice and / spring games. Cole just made an interesting statement. He says it didn't help Lowndes as I guess he said as much as Tifton, or it didn't help Lowndes very much at all. Now, I disagree with him. Chase, I'm interested as a Lowndes fan to get your perspective. I think it helped Lowndes immensely because Lowndes graduated a lot of people. You have a lot of young kids stepping up. You got a three-way quarterback competition that you want to see them in live fire and how they react. So I think it gives, I'm going to put my coaching hat on. I think it gives coaches some insight into kind of almost a starting point.
Mhm.
This is what we think kids can do before spring practice. This is what we know kids can do after spring practice. Maybe we have kids in the right position. Maybe we have kids in the wrong position, because we want to help kids. We want to set them up for success, right? And I think a
Absolutely.
spring practice / spring game goes a long way to help coaches kind of fine tune and get their team pointing in the right direction. Chase, what do you think on that?
I think it benefited both teams,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. I get what Cole's saying. It
Yeah.
greatly benefited Tifton, in the fact that now they know where they stand, they know where their strengths and weaknesses are, and they know what they got to do to regroup.
That's right.
Also, it benefited Lowndes in the aspect of you've got a new coach, you've got a new coaching staff, you've got a new offense, you've got a new defense. You need to see how well your defense is picking up the defensive schemes, how well your offense is being able to execute plays in and plays out, and how good your communication is from the sidelines. You know, there's a lot of different things go in there. And I noticed, now I'll point out some things that I think Lowndes fans overlooked.
Okay.
And that is the fact that there was some confusion at times.
Sure.
There was some confusion, especially with the wide receivers. There was some confusion on routes. There was some confusion on blocking schemes and things like that from the receiver side, which all that will get worked out. But at least that lets you know what you've got to work on. And I think from a coaching standpoint, like you said, Larry, it gives you a measuring stick going into summer as to what you need to work on through the summer and into the fall. So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at it like that. I mean, now I agree with Cole 100% on some of the stuff he said, but you know, on the hitting the panic button, y'all might want to slide that panic button just a little bit closer.
So, guys, you know, from a coaching perspective, player development, coaching, getting guys set up for success, I think all those positives really benefit a program. Now, on the downside, let's talk about fan expectation. That's the downside, I think. I see all of you grinning, shaking your head. You know what I'm talking about. The fan expectations around football in South and Middle Georgia are out. You know, it'll blow the doors down, right? It just blows the roof off the house. So everyone knows that the fans' expectations are super high, but I think one of the dangers for programs is if they have a bad showing, for whatever reason, sloppy play, fumbling, kids being kids, but if they have a bad showing, fans are ready to hit the panic button. So in that regard, in that sense, do you think coaches start to sense this, programs start to sense this, and is that why we're seeing more intra-squad scrimmages instead of true spring games?
Well,
I'll throw that question out there on the floor.
Larry, I'll take a shot at this one
first.
Okay. I think they're in favor of the intra-squad scrimmage, and I'll give you a prime example. The Lowndes Tift game, we had a running back go down with a knee injury.
Yeah.
I think in an intra-squad scrimmage, you avoid those because you're not going to get the big-time hits. You're not going to get the real heavy popping, and you're not going to get your quarterbacks knocked around real heavy and things like that. So, you know, I think it benefits the teams that are trying to keep kids healthy and it's in their first years trying to start and things like that. I think the intra-squad scrimmage will benefit those type of situations, especially where you don't want to get kids hurt because you may not have a kid to replace them. But as far as, you know, leading, I think the intra-squad scrimmage also benefits programs that are trying to accumulate things, cups, towels,
right,
stuff like that they can charge that way to get into the intra-squad scrimmages. And it builds up fan participation. They feel like they're giving back to the program and things like that, and they're being involved. And you'll always want to boost community involvement in your programs because that boosts up hype around the program.
That's right. That's right.
So, you know, and I think if you have an intra-squad scrimmage versus a spring game, I think I think you should treat it kind of like a spring game. You should make it almost like a football affair, kind of like take a page out of the collegiate playbook. Have a
Red and black.
maroon, have a maroon and white if you're Lowndes, have a silver and blue if you're Tift County, have a gold and black if you're Valdosta, or a red and black if you're Lee County. Whatever the case may be, whatever your colors are, divide your teams up evenly and run it like that. And I think you'll get a better measuring stick. You know, you may be running your twos against your ones, or your threes against your twos at a certain point, but it'll allow you to do some different things, and your quarterbacks can be interchangeable on both sides.
Cole, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I completely agree with Chase where that would be an awesome idea, but there's only one problem. You got to have more than 56 players to be able to do it blue and white, or blue and silver, or whatever. But that's only my things. You have teams like Lee County and Colquitt and probably even Ware County. Those Thomas County Central. I mean,
100%.
they can do those things.
Well, guys, speaking of Thomas County Central, Cole, before heading into spring practice, you got a new coach over there in Thomas County Central. You got some renewed energy. Zach Grage leaves the Thomasville program, joins Lowndes, which
he joined Thomasville again.
Yeah, which vacates the Thomasville position. So there's a lot of energy and momentum behind TCC, but at the same time, people are nervous because you're jumping 2 classifications into Class 6. But after the spring game, TCC fans are feeling pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and they have a right to be. I think that's a very potent offense. I don't think that this was just for show. Last year, Thomas County Central was an offensive line away from probably being very possibly winning that region.
Yeah.
Offensive line just was awful last year. Sam Brown got protection in the spring game, and we've seen it. 18 for 23, I think 313 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just the problem with Thomas County Central is, and I'm the guy I want to pull the reins back a little bit. Let's see where that defense goes. If the McDonald's All-American doesn't go to Valdosta, Gabe Harris was a big part of that defense. But now he's a McDonald's All-American at Valdosta.
Gosh.
The Thomas County Central loses a big piece of that puzzle. So
Cole, since you just said that, I want to put up a comment on the screen. I don't know if Heath Carver is taking a shot at you and Tift County with this comment, but look at this. Bacon did a red versus white game, and we had 60-plus players.
Man, wait. Bacon County almost has the exact same players. Oh, man. Where's Bacon County at?
Alma, Georgia, man.
Alma, man, the Blueberry capital.
What are they, due east of Douglas, George?
Yeah, Highway 32 east
I
of
got
Douglas.
You. But interesting. Central is in a very interesting position. If you have a bad defense, you better be able to outscore them. Yeah. And then with the Fulton kid transferring from Thomasville to Thomas County Central, he showed some very, very he's going to be a very big add to Central, and he will be our Central starting running back.
Listen, guys, Jerry Safford, I got to put this comment on the screen because I really love this comment. Jerry Safford says, Lions played good defense.
Sure. I know.
Which might sound like a surprising comment, but as Lions fans, we complained about our defense in the last couple of years, especially last year. And in this spring practice, one of the things that we wanted to see as a fan base was the defense is going to make a big improvements. And I gotta tell you, man, the Lions fan base is in love with Ashley Anders.
I told y'all. Why are
you
y'all
did?
So
you tried to tell me.
I tried to tell the whole world, and nobody.
Cole said we were going to forget about Byron Slack.
Y'all will forget. He will have a better defense than Byron Slack ever did.
Well, that remains to be seen. That's a big comment because Byron Slack has some great defenses.
That might be the case.
And if you're saying that Lowndes' defense is going to be even better, I look forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not going to try to compare a coach saying well, this one's better than the other, but if we have a better defense, I'm looking forward to it.
Ashley Anders won't be at Lowndes very long. he will have another head coaching job very short.
Oh,
very
sure.
soon.
Sure. George,
Yeah.
tell us about Ware County, man. They've been kind of quiet, flying under the radar ever since Thomas Castellanos graduated. He's down at UCF now,
He is looking
under the
out.
tutelage of what, Gus Malzahn?
Running that, yeah, that's right. And if he gains any more weight, he's going to be a straight up running back, maybe even a linebacker. Good grief.
I saw a picture with the other quarterbacks. His arms look like tree trunks.
Yeah, and they're, I mean, vascular. It's not heavyweight; it's muscle.
Yeah.
That said, we did happenstance pick up a transfer from Yulee, which is really kind of new to us in the swamp. We don't have people banging down the doors like some metro areas to come in, but this kid is a rising junior, so we'll have him 2 years.
Yeah.
And we talked about him before. Nico Smith, he's a 6'1", around 185, so he's got a good frame. He's a dual threat type quarterback. He looks a lot like Thomas. He's not at that level yet, but we've got a really good trench on the offensive and defensive side. Our trenches are going to be very good. They're going to be very experienced.
Yeah.
I look for us to be able to move the ball well on offense. The question I have, and I don't mean to inject any negative stuff because it's only spring, but I've heard that one of our star secondary guys has been pulled over to the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
And if he starts doing that again and hoping to, when you score 42 points and lose 2 games last year, that hurts. So talking about defense, we really need to make sure we balance out, on both sides of the ball. I'm looking, and the jury's still out on that. But overall, I think we're a favorite to win our region. Coffee's kind of up and coming. They're not ready. You saw them on their scrimmage. They lost to Single A Brooks. Nothing against Brooks, but when you're playing a 5A team at a 1A program, that really shouldn't happen, with any regularity. But I know it was a spring game, and I know Brooks is good, but I like us to win the region. After that, hopefully we'll get past that elusive second round.
Well, Coffee County is another team that has a brand new coach running a different system, that kind of stuff. So I don't know how their fans are feeling. There was a lot of excitement around Coach Co going into his new hire over there. So I wonder how that fan base is feeling now. I think that I think they're going to fall in love with him. I think Coach Co is going to do a great job over there.
I'm very bullish on how they're going to do long term. And let me say this about him: if I were to wear my maroon, put on my maroon for Coffee, I would say they were running 25% of their playbook.
Yeah.
This is only spring. He's only been here a matter of a month or a couple of months. March 15th, somewhere in there. So 2 months and some change. And so they were only running a quarter of their plays, and they really seem to be run oriented. So, I'm not going to say I still think Ware's out ahead of them for the region.
Right.
Coffee's, they're going to be trouble, I would think, probably next year, the year after. I think Co is going to put them in a spot where they're going to be highly competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, since we just talked about Ware and Coffee County, let's talk about one of the things that we were going to talk about now is, put our fan caps back on and start putting out this fictional fan poll. So let's start with Region 1 5A, since we're talking about Ware County and Coffee County. So in this region, you have Bradwell Institute, Coffee County, Greenbrier, Jenkins, Statesboro, and Ware County. So is it a consensus that we all think Ware County is going to win this region?
I think.
Yeah, I like Ware.
Okay, even though they're replacing their superstar quarterback, I don't know how many guys they have coming back on offense, defense, but y'all are thinking that Ware County is still going to win this region?
Yeah, of course I do. You guys, I think you've already said yeah.
Yeah. I like Ware to win because Ware they never rebuild over there. They just constantly, it's like reloading for them. I don't know where they get their athletes from, but good God,
It's been that way. Yeah, Chase, it's been that way since I was a kid. I remember we used to have Waycross High School.
Right.
Yeah.
And Waycross High School has 4 state championships. So, while we don't necessarily claim them, they're from our community, from that talent pool. It's the same generations. You hear some of the last names. It's some of the same, players that your nephews and sons and grandsons and things like that of stars of yesteryear. So you're right, Chase. They just continue to reload with good talent. One of these years, we're going to catch a good deep run and put it all together. And I think it's going to be soon.
All right, so I'm assuming that you guys want to go with the second pick is going to be Coffee County.
Yeah, I'd say Coffee. So. Yeah, I'd say Coffee.
Now
Coffee.
Second.
Here's a Coffee County super fan, Chris Pace. He says this: we are ready to see the pass attack. We've seen the running attack. It's pretty nice. We want to see the passing game because we only threw the ball about 2 times the whole varsity scrimmage. The JV threw way more than the varsity and looked pretty good. Well, Chris, the good news is the JV's throwing the ball, which means you've got a future passing attack, right? I don't know why coaches run the plays that they run in spring. I heard that it was, like Chris said, it was 99% running the ball. Maybe Coach Coe's got a method to his madness. What do you guys think about that?
Hey, Larry.
Yes, sir.
Didn't last week when the radio broadcaster's grandson was on, didn't he say that their starting quarterback tore his ACL on like the first day of spring practice?
I cannot remember.
Who? You talking about Coffee?
Yeah.
One of the Coffee radio guys called in. I'm gonna mute your line, Cole. I think it's your line. So one of the Coffee radio guys called into the show last week when you weren't here, George, and talked about how they did in the spring game, and that's what Chase is referring to. I can't remember if he talked about one of their players got injured.
I thought they said they had a transfer that transferred in from, I want to say, South Carolina.
Could be.
And was going to play quarterback, and he tore his ACL like the first day or two of spring ball.
Man, I hate to hear that.
And I think that's why, and that's what I would say to the fan that commented from Coffee County. I wouldn't expect because they moved a corner,
right?
A corner from corner
That's
to
true. That's right.
So you got to be patient with the passing game. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
That's true. So Chris Pace, Rod, Collins, you Coffee fans, help us remember, was that the case? Was that why they moved a defensive back to quarterback? Were they trying out a great athlete at the quarterback position? We just don't know enough information to make a kind of a
that would make
comment.
sense as to why they only passed it.
Sure. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, for sure. So, I like Coffee to finish second, even that said. And beyond that,
the other teams, this is, guys, honestly, this is not a very strong region after the region reshuffle. Yeah. So you got Bradway Institute, Greenbrier, Jenkins, Statesboro. Just brand identity, I would think that Statesboro is probably going to be 3rd seed.
I'm going to go 3rd for them, 4th Jenkins. And I'll say something nice about Bradwell. They're a good basketball program, I believe.
Okay.
And I think Greenbrier is an outstanding baseball program.
Tiff County is a good basketball school too.
Yeah. So it's funny when you start paying attention to other sports and you see some of these teams that you equate with horrible, football, but they're great. And so, that's where I see it coming down to for 5 years.
So since we spent a lot of time talking about the Lowndes game, let's jump to Region 1-7A. Okay. So going in, I don't know what your feelings were going into this, pre-spring game. What were your feelings before the spring game, and have they changed since the spring game? Colquitt County played Cairo in a spring game. From what I understand, I saw some highlight videos. That game was pretty close. Is Cairo that good? Colquitt trying out different players. I'm not sure what the case was. All I know was I was told it was a close game. The highlights kind of show that. We've beat that horse to death with the Lowndes and Tiff County spring game. There was another Camden play. I can't remember who Camden played, another Florida school, but they had a close spring game.
I don't remember.
Where do
Larry,
you
to
see
be honest.
Camden coming in this? I don't see.
Camden is a mystery school because they're so far away. You know, Jeff Herron did such a good job last year coming back to the region for his first year and almost pulled off upsets for a lot of teams in our region, including Lowndes. Lowndes had to rely on a last-second miracle pass to win that game. Cole is saying, let me go ahead and unmute
I'm
Cole.
agreeing with Cole. Honestly, that's why I'm having trouble. I'm like, are they a 4?
Cole, you think Camden is going to come in fourth in the region. So who do you have 1, 2, 3 then?
Colquitt 1, Lowndes 2, Valdosta 3.
I'm going to ask you why you think, because it's, you know, the consensus usually is nowadays, modern theory is it's always going to be between Lowndes and Colquitt, but you're saying without hesitation this year, you think Colquitt takes the number 1 seed out of Region 178. Why do you say that?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that those would, as of today, those would be my picks. It's going to come down to Colquitt and Lowndes.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I mean, I'm just going with Colquitt.
Okay, so you're doing a toss up. Your coin just happens to land on Colquitt.
I'm going with Colquitt. Lowndes won it last year. Where was that game at? This game's going to be in the hog pen, ain't it?
You bring up a really, really good point for the last 4 to 5, 6 years. I can't remember how many years in a row, but the home team has won that game.
Okay.
Right. And isn't this game this year going to be in the hog pen?
Unfortunately, yes.
All right. Yeah. And then, you know, Colquitt does bring back a good little bit, you know.
Now, here's the thing. Zach Grage has had a lot of experience playing in that hog pen. So I think I think just because he's the head coach this year and he's had a lot of experience playing, hear me out before you shoot me down. Okay.
Coach Calhoun.
Because I know you're ready to shoot me down. I think Zach Grage, because he's had a lot of experience playing in Colquitt, coached for them, I think he's not going to have any problem settling our team down going into the hog pen this year.
Young team now.
Yes, that's a fair statement, but it doesn't need to be like it was a couple of years ago when it took. By the time y'all calmed down, the game was already over. Correct. This I love this game every year. It's one of the best games to watch. You know, Lowndes, Colquitt. I'm not shooting. I got enough haters in Lowndes already that think I hate Lowndes.
Guys, just
go with my honest opinion.
Hold on before you give your. Okay, so for our Lowndes fans that's watching tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and dispel the myth. Cole Moore is a Lowndes fan. I'm just telling you right now, based on the private conversations that we have, Cole loves the Lowndes football program.
Oh, so he's a box for that one, Larry.
He's an undercover fan.
He's a closet Lowndes fan. Yep.
Closet Lowndes fan. I like it.
I was on the home side. I don't think I'll ever be invited to another Lowndes playoff game again, though.
Well, I will say this. I agree with Cole that it's going to be a fight in the hog pen. But I want to say that I think Colquitt may sandbag a little bit and lose the region on purpose.
Oh, come on.
I don't know about.
It's too early to say stuff like that without knowing what the playoff brackets are.
I will say this. There was a coach, not going to say what school. I know him personally, and I know in the past he has sandbagged and lost the region on purpose because it was an easier path to the state title.
Listen, we all know that there are probably some coaches, because Georgia's a big state, there's always going to be some coaches that play that bracketology game. I just think if you're in a position to win the region, play with pride, win the region.
Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree with that statement at all.
I think it's fun to joke about, but I don't know that.
I have it Lowndes.
I don't know nobody that.
Valdosta and Camden. And Tift County will be the odd man out, unfortunately. Now, prior to the spring game, I had Camden being the odd man out. But
you mean Richmond Hill?
You mean Richmond Hill. Everybody's used to saying Tifton in our region. You mean Richmond Hill.
Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
I had Richmond Hill as the odd man out, but
I still agree with that.
I don't know. Richmond Hill, from what I've heard from people over there, Richmond Hill can upset some people and surprise a lot of folks.
Richmond Hill surprised the Valdosta Wildcats a few years ago.
They did, and they have a tenured coach. That's the only team in Region 170 who has a tenured coach.
And I guarantee you their head coach has already been scouting this program or this show and other shows. Their head coach has been on Phil's show, and I'm sure he's gotten an earful from other fans. He's probably telling his team all spring and all summer that region doesn't respect you. 100% of the fans in Region 170A are picking you to finish dead last. And so he's going to use, if he's a smart coach, which I'm sure he is, he's going to use that as fodder all summer long to basically keep a fire lit under his players.
He better do more than that.
That's cool, but
he better do a lot more than that.
Who do you see them?
He better do more than that, LG. I don't care how long he's been there. I don't care how long he's been there, 20, 30, 40 years. This is not coast on the coast football. This is big boy football at its finest. And Richmond Hills, hey, they may become a competitor in this region, but not this year. And it's not going to be close.
That's a pretty strong statement right there, man.
I'll go along with that.
I agree with him too. I think Richmond Hill's a solid 5, and they're going to be 5th. I think
Listen, I hear what you guys saying, because the conventional wisdom is look at the teams in this region. So in order for Richmond Hill to make the playoffs, they're going to have to beat one of these teams. They're going to have to beat either a Lowndes, a Colquitt, a Camden, a Valdosta. Which team are they going to beat to get into the playoffs?
They're not.
They're not. I think Camden's going to that's their only shot, in my opinion. I don't see them beating anybody else.
Right.
It's a tough question. I know.
Anybody else? I see them their only chance against Camden. I'll agree with George on that one.
All right.
And further,
That's
I'm going
it.
to throw out there. I think Valdosta takes the 2 seed. I think Colquitt limps in at 3 because Valdosta plays very tough. And as of late, they've played them very tough. The over-under is going
Who
to be
did you just say the limps in at number 3?
Colquitt.
Ooh, I thought that's what Cole was reacting to.
Yeah, I like Lowndes, Valdosta,
Okay.
Colquitt, and then Camden, and then Richmond Hill. They don't get it done this year.
Here's the reality.
And
If you're a Colquitt fan and you just listen to that statement, like Stevie Sheffield, they can't believe that came out of someone's mouth. But here's the reality. This is a very storied region. All these teams are really good. Camden, Lowndes, Colquitt, Valdosta, and I would even say Richmond Hill. They're all really good teams, but unfortunately, somebody's got to lose.
Yeah.
Right. And you're saying Colquitt's going to finish at number 3. Tiara says that she says, I agree with George.
Well, what were they last year? 3?
I'm not sure, man. I'm being distracted here. Chris Pace, he says, look at so Chris, Cole, Chris Pace loves the way you're reacting tonight.
Look at Chris's picture. He looks like that sign should say the end is near. I think he likes the way you look at you, look like him.
Listen,
no, I do like your sign there, Chris. I'm teasing.
I'm Facebook friends with Chris, and that's not his real pictures. But you're right, man. That's the end of near.
Name that Robertson in that picture, right?
Will football for food. That's the kind of picture that is,
That's right.
So anyway, listen, Stevie Sheffield is pushing back on you guys. He says he's a big Colquitt fan. He says, objection. That is just pure speculation, spoken like a counselor that's been watching A Few Good Men. Right. Objection, Your Honor.
Hey, if you can't handle the truth. Hey.
So, all right. So we got a split decision here. We got Cole that's saying Colquitt is going to be number 1. We got George saying Colquitt is going to be number 3, and he's picking Lowndes to be the region favorite. Chase, I'm going to let you be the tiebreaker, man. I'm going to go ahead and unmute Chase. Chase.
Yeah.
So I know that you're a Lowndes homer. You're probably going to say Lowndes is going to be the favorite this year. But how would you stack these teams in Region 1-7A?
I would say Lowndes, Colquitt, Valdosta, Camden.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your pick goes siding with George there.
No.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I put Valdosta at third. And it's
Okay.
not
So
because-
you put Valdosta
He
at
put- he
third.
had-
George
he
put him
had
at
2 and
second.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole and I have
And
1 and 2, I think.
and I'll tell you why I put Valdosta at 3.
Okay.
Okay. The Shelton Felton show, from the best I can get out of Valdosta fans that I know, is a very run heavy offense.
Okay.
Okay. And while that will win you some football games, that will not any longer win you a region or a state title.
Sure.
The game has evolved past that. Yes, the running game will keep defenses honest. And yes, you can win some games running the football, but you cannot compete with the big boys, because this is big boy football. 7A is big boy football. Cole just alluded to that. 7A is the mecca of high school football. You can no longer compete with a run heavy offense. You will get blowed off the field.
I think that's why we all think Camden's a 4.
Yeah, I mean, because Camden runs a wing team.
I think you're right.
Well,
I mean-
Chase, I'm going to push back on you just a little bit. Lowndes has been a run-heavy offense since Michael Barrett and Ja'Cory Brown, and we've fared just fine.
We've been a run heavy offense since Lance Gerald. But
That's right. So you're saying, I think I'm going to clarify your statement. You're saying that, you can be a run-heavy offense. You just got to throw enough to keep teams honest. Is that what you're saying?
no, you got to be. It's going to have to be a 60-40 split, and it's going to have to be 60% pass, 40%.
Oh,
run.
okay. Okay. So you're saying the lack of a 60% passing game may have held Lowndes back.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Because you can't go run left 3 times in a row and expect a different result. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work.
Cole's
I
right
mean-
there with you, it looks like.
I mean, you can't call the same play. Look, I had a buddy of mine whose son was playing in that game where Lowndes had the team to win state. That was the team that they had been waiting for. That team was there, and they called the same 3 plays in a row, and the running back looked at the sideline and went, really?
Chase, I'm not laughing at your statement. I just busted out laughing while you were talking. I'm not laughing at your statement. I'm laughing at Jimbo's statement that he just put. I'm going to put this on the screen. He says, Tift is going to come in last in 2 regions.
That's nice. I like that.
That's funny stuff right there, man.
Yeah.
I
So
just spent
Ben,
5 minutes defending Noel Dean. I think they're going to be fine in the long run. And then Jimbo comes up with a statement like that.
Tift County will still make the playoffs, regardless of
You
what
think so?
happened in that. Yeah, I still believe. I still believe. Now, I didn't say where they would finish. I just said they would make the playoffs. There's 4 seeds.
I mean, who are they going to, in the top 3 being what, Lee, Northside, and TCC maybe? I'm putting TCC up at 3 now.
Yeah.
Ho. I got Lee, Thomas County Central, Northside, and Tift County.
Okay.
In that order.
Northside in their scrimmage, I think they suffered a fractured femur, one of their quarterbacks maybe. I don't know if it was a starter. I don't think they looked as potent as the fan base wanted to see on offense, but I still like them at 2.
Guys, I'm going to shock the world right here with my projection. I think it's obvious. I'm going to agree with you. Lee County is probably number 1. I'm going to say Thomas County Central is going to be the 2nd seed out of that
I
region.
agree.
Okay.
Northside, Warner Robins, the 3rd seed. Veterans is going to be the 4th seed, and Tift County is going to be out of luck this year.
I think you, I don't know.
If
Maybe
that
Jimbo would
happens,
argue with you that just posted on
if that
Facebook.
happens, Noel Dean can pack his bags.
Now, I think Noel Dean gets 1 more year. I think they give him, I think Adam Hathaway gives him a 3rd season.
I
If he finds
from
him
some
an
of the
If they
stuff I
don't make the
read,
playoffs.
Now, if he goes winless in the region and
That's right.
allows a 4A to jump to 6A TCC to basically knock him out of the region playoffs, then it might be a different story.
it depends on how they compete
Yeah.
in these regions. If are they close, are they blowouts, are they, it all depends on what goes on. But I'm
Right.
telling you, LG, I know a little bit more about this program than you do.
Sure. Yeah.
I know some things. All he's got to do is get in the playoffs. That'll save him another year.
That'll buy him another year.
That'll buy him another year. But he's got to get in the playoffs. This isn't 1-7-8. You're in 1-6-8. You got veterans in the OCO. It's all you got to do to beat them. There's veterans in OCO.
Yep.
Veterans has got Milan Turner's gone. Who did they wind up picking up? Was it somebody from Warner Robins staff? I can't remember their new head coach.
Yeah, I think it is, guys. But well, listen, we're going to have to put that conversation on hold. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about Warner Robins and Northside. Maybe focus on Region 1-6A next week because we didn't get a chance to talk to them very much this week. So let's table that discussion because our hour is up, and I actually got to go prep now for another interview. I'm interviewing tonight a head coach out of the DC area, St. John's or some, I can't remember the team's name. So I got to prep for that interview. So I got to make sure we stay on a strict time schedule tonight. So anyway, guys, that's right, Cole. We got to cut it off. So guys, y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us on behalf of George Braddock, Cole Moore, Chase Garnto. I've been Larry Godwin. I am Larry Godwin. You've been watching the Pregame Blitz. Y'all have a good night. See y'all.
Go Louds.